Divine greetings and gratitude. Welcome back to our sacred space. Of course, I'm always honored, excited, and elated to be in your presence. We're going to be doing a reading for you today or tonight, if you will. And I feel like this is definitely going to be fueled by you utilizing the power of your creativity, you utilizing the power of your mind, and also the power of your thoughts to ground things into reality in a way that will withstand the test of time, but also in a way that is authentic to you, in a way that is wise, and in a way that is meaningful. I don't know what these messages are going to be. I just know that we're going to be pulling cards. And immediately, the very first cards that you do have that are coming out here that just swing themselves on my desk is the Seven of Wands in reverse. So the fact that you do have here the Seven of Wands that's coming up in reverse, this tells me that you're no longer in a space where you're wanting to defend or fight or resist. And also, I'm seeing the Five of Wands here, but I do feel that the reason why you do have the Five of Wands is because you're in a space where you're no longer called to fight against this purpose. You're no longer called to fight against the things that you know that is true to you, that you know that you're resonant with. And the reason why is because this next phase or this next stage of your life is going to be centered around you utilizing your power, utilizing your gifts, utilizing your intuition and your genius, of course. Like we mentioned in the last video, you're going to be called to utilize more of that energy. And the reason is because you're called to help to progress humanity forward. And this is a space where I usually do attract people who are very intuitive, very bright, very articulate, very artistic. People in this place do have their own genius. So I feel like you are someone that's called to utilize the power of your mind, yes, but also remember that if things are falling away from you right now, allow them to do so. And the reason is because all it's going to do is clear out and make room for you to expand your consciousness, but also for you to start to implement the wisdom and the knowledge that you gained along the past few years of your life or even the past 10 years of your life. I do feel like you may be in a space where you're called to remove yourself from any space that is too chaotic and in a way where you can't think or you can't concentrate. I don't know why I'm hearing like a lot of arguing in the background. So I don't know if you have neighbors that live or like if you're in an apartment is what I meant to say, and maybe you live with a roommate or maybe you live with your parents or whoever you may live with or whoever you may room with, but I'm hearing a lot of arguing. What I'm hearing is that this fussing and fighting is what's causing you to kind of to it's causing you almost to not get distracted, but almost like get distracted, but also it's starting to really affect your psyche and it's starting to affect your ability to receive because you're picking up on so many things because you're sensitive. And what I'm hearing is that it's time for you to start setting your intention to move out of that. But let's just say, for example, if you don't have the means to move, if you don't have the means to leave and get up and go, this is another reason why it's imperative that you utilize your intellect and that you utilize the power of your gifts, because that is exactly what's going to help to set you free. Because all this fighting and bickering, it's causing you to implement that energy accidentally into whatever it is that you have going, whatever it is that you have that you're building for yourself. And let's just say if you are not accidentally doing it, that energy is bleeding into your work, it's bleeding into your practice. And I feel like there does need to be a boundary that needs to be set, because you're in a space in your life where now you're called to utilize this energy, because again, you're going to be stepping up in the forefront. And this is something that we've been saying for years. I've been saying for years that we do need to focus more on community, and that community is actually going to be more. Speaking of community, you actually do have the world and you have the Three of Cups here. Like, you can't make it up if you tried. So this lets me know that yes, like the reason why it's imperative for you to protect the space that you're in is because you're going to start to gather community and you're going to start to progress and move forward in a way that helps other people. And you don't want that energy bleeding into what you have going. Now, I am seeing this in another way. I am also seeing that you're called to help people. You're I just heard the word mediator. I don't know if you're called to be a mediator, but I am seeing that the fact that you do have temperance here, this is where you start to utilize the power of your wisdom to help to bring groups together in order to help them progress. There's something about your words, your thoughts, your creativity where you enter into a space and you can sense that there was an argument. You can sense that there was something going on in that space. And then somehow you pick up on it and you change the energy of the room just by simply walking into it and you being there for a few minutes. Does that make sense? And people then start to look to you because they understand that you are so in tune with people and you are so in tune with the world, with the collective consciousness, and you start to utilize your power in order to help people to rethink what they're doing. And it's interesting because I do see the 7 of coins here, but I don't see this as just you rethinking what you're doing. But I just heard the word reflect. I feel like you're also here to help people learn how to reflect and how to truly utilize their power, potential, and capacity to help to progress themselves. And this is something that you've been working on for a while in your life. Like, this is not something that you just thought about all of a sudden. No, this is something that you've been building. And look at this. You also, I love this for you. You also do have here the Empress, and you also do have here the Queen of Pentacles. So this is one of those things where you're wanting to start being a lot more practical about what you of course have going on. And also, I want you to remember that there's something about you that is so elevated. And if you haven't tapped into that, you're really wanting to trust the fact that you are someone that is here to help humanity. You are not here to be small. You're here to be seen. You almost, I don't like saying this word. I don't like this word at all because I don't subscribe to people being, having a savior complex. But it almost kind of gives me where you are here to save the day, or you're here to like save people in a way, or what feels like you saving them, meaning that they may not have been able to tap into that sense of magic hadn't you came along and you utilize the power of your gifts and you utilize the power, or you utilizing the power of your own creativity. And I feel like this is something that not only impacts you and your local community, but I'm seeing this more so as more of a global thing. If you are someone that is looking to expand, via on social media and things like that, this is a beautiful chance for you to do so. And I say that because, of course, we do have the nodes that are switching, of course, that are switching into Aquarius, but also this is Jupiter at play here. Jupiter in Leo expands not only your consciousness, but it also expands your heart, and it also expands your ability to be seen in a certain area of life. Now, depending on where this is happening in your chart, it's going to affect a different part of your life because of where it sits. However, whatever part of that chart that it's ruling, somehow what I'm hearing is that it's going to affect you in the public. So if it's hitting your fourth house, then more than likely this is something where you're going to start focusing more on utilizing the power and the wisdom that you learned or that you gained from home, and then you're going to implement that into the 10th house matters, into your career and things of that nature. Or maybe you're starting to learn how to better utilize what you find in your subconscious or what comes up in your subconscious, and you utilize the wisdom, right? Because Jupiter brings wisdom. Not only does he bring abundance, not only does he light up everything that he touches and expands it, but he also is the planet of wisdom. So you're now going to start tapping into a deeper sense of wisdom and then implementing that when it comes to your creations and your frameworks and things of that nature. So I want you to trust in what you're doing. I want you to trust in what you're building, but I also want you to take a practical approach. It sounds like I want you to do a lot here. And I don't mean it like that. I say that because I'm not tasked with, but I'm someone that really does care and I nurture and things like that. So I don't mean to sound like a mom or sound like I want you to do all this. It's not that. It's more so that this is just how I take care of my tribe. I just, Cancer ruling my third house. I can't help it. So I will do my best to work on that. But anyways, yes, I feel like this is one of those moments where you're called to organize truly and utilize your gifts and your talents to organize in a way that is authentic to you and not in a way where you people please. This isn't where you want to people please. This is where you get innovative. This is where you get creative. This is where you start to utilize the power of your words, your linguistics, your intellect, your thought processes, and you start to ground them into reality. But it takes for you to show up first. You have to show up. Okay, I cannot remember for the life of me if I mentioned this in the video, but you may be called to start to share your ideas and your thoughts via the internet, of course, or maybe you're called to start your podcast or your YouTube channel, or maybe you're called to start, I just heard a news outlet. Maybe you're getting into journalism, or maybe you're doing something with writing and publishing and speaking. But either way it goes, I feel like you're now in a space in your life where it's time for you to start to utilize the power of your mind and utilize the power of words and communication in order to get your messages across. So maybe you're starting out online and then later you're going to start building things in person. And I feel like no matter what you do, remember that it is imperative for you to have humanity's best interest at heart. And chances are, if you are here, you already do. So I want you to trust in your voice. There's something specifically about your voice, and there's something specifically about you speaking. So this could be you getting in front of audiences. I mean, who knows? You could be the next, billionaire. I don't know. Maybe you don't want to identify with that, and that's okay. But either way it goes, and it's not even about money. It's about you allowing yourself to utilize your gifts and your talents to draw in wealth, and you allowing yourself to truly tap deeper into your sense of knowing. And your thoughts are fueled by your divine knowing, and your thoughts are fueled by your intuition. So I really truly feel like this is a stage in your life where, oh, I just heard that maybe you're going to start to do speech development classes. Maybe you're going to start taking classes for language, right? Whatever it may be. Either way it goes, this is where you have a green light for you to start to invest in things that are going to help you to interpret messages. And I feel like you're going to do a lot with communication. There's something you're getting the blue jay. Like I'm seeing a vision of a blue jay. And then I also just heard the word bluebird. You may want to look up the symbolism of the blue jay and the symbolism of the bluebird. And I say that because I feel like this has a lot to do with messaging. And I also just saw, are you on Twitter? I don't know if you're on Twitter, but have you ever heard of Blue Sky? I think it's called Blue Sky. There's something about tweeting, or there's something about you sending like thoughts, like they're quick thoughts, but somehow that's how people find you, and that's how people start to trust you. And it's wild, right? Like you would think that, oh, I have to work extra hard. No, not necessarily. I think that life was what was hard, and now it gets a lot easier the more that you share your voice, the more that you share yourself with the world. So trust in that. And you don't have to believe that everything has to be so difficult. You can allow yourself to simply just share your thoughts and ideas. And it's okay. Sometimes it is that easy. Now, the things that you're doing behind the scenes, maybe it's not so easy, and that's okay that it's not, but it doesn't mean that you reaching people has to be difficult. And I feel like now you're in a space where spirit is wanting you to reach people via your words, and then everything else will start to benefit. Everything else will start to fall into place. Trust in your words, trust in what you're doing, and start the podcast, start the YouTube channel, start whatever social media that you want to start. And also, one last thing, maybe two more things. Please remember, it is important for you to always have power over your attention. You're not here to fit into a box, and you're not here to work on behalf of someone else. This is your life, and you live your life according to what you know is true to you, and you create when you need to create. It takes living. Okay, it takes living. I'm going to be quiet because I know that this video is going to get too long. I'll catch you in the next segment. Show up and it will change your circumstances. Show up and you don't know how it's going to fully affect your life. See, we as humans have these things where we see things for ourselves and we want it to go according to that plan because we believe that it keeps us alive. But this is not just you doing things out of survival. This is you trusting in the fact that you don't have to do things out of survival, but you do them because you want to be resonant with the universe, but also because you want to thrive. So if you're wanting to thrive, this is where you start to increase your capacity to be receptive of the wisdom that the divine is giving you, and also utilize that and give as gifts to nurture your community, to nurture your tribe, to nurture the people that are around you, but also nurture via your innovations and your words. And remember that, again, this is a collective thing that we have going. This is not us, pushing individualism. And that's another thing too that I want to say real quick, right? Because I feel like colonialism and capitalism glorifies and glamorizes this idea of individualism, but that's because it keeps people spread apart, and that's because it keeps the community broken. And this is not something where you want to continuously push this idea of individualism, but this is you understanding that although you may be, and I don't really even want to call you an individual because even that I'm not going to get into that, but maybe in another video. But I want to say that you as a soul have the power to stand out, yes, but also in a way that helps other people stand out. Now imagine if, and I'm being given an image of marbles, but every marble is a different color, right? And it's so interesting because you have all of these beautiful colors. Like even when you think that two are yellow, these two yellows are not the same, right? You have dandelion and then you have like a bright yellow, and then maybe you have like a mustard yellow, and then maybe you have, you know, I don't know, yellow orange or something. I don't know, yellow blue, right? There's something very significant about these colors and about these marbles where every marble is different. And it's interesting because it's drawing me actually to your natal chart. There's something about your natal chart that is so different that when you utilize the power and the wisdom that you gain from this natal chart and you implement that into your life, that's when things really start to shift and change. But it's not going to look like how everyone else's is, and spirit is wanting you to trust that. Okay. I don't even know if I breathed during this reading. I don't even know if I breathed. But either way it goes, yes, I do see that I just heard the words grounded wisdom. So the fact that I'm hearing grounded wisdom, this is bringing me to temperance. And this is bringing me to the fact that you have a lot of life experience that the divine is wanting you to use. And you have a lot to share and you have a lot to give. I feel like this is where you start to trust again in your words. Maybe you want to again start that. I feel like I may have said this in the last video, but you may want to start the podcast. There's something about communications coming here, and I just heard telecommunications. So I feel, and of course it would, because Aquarius is definitely technology driven. Oh, wow. I just heard that one of your, like some of your guides are giving you access to some type of technology. What kind of technology? I have no clue, but it almost feels like you tap the blueprint. Okay, it's a blueprint. Pay attention to your dreams and pay attention to the things that are in front of you, because you're gonna, the synchronicities, right? And the reason why is because you're gonna start to receive a lot more downloads that's gonna help you to create a blueprint or a framework, and that's going to help your next invention. So you really want to pay attention to that. Here on this channel, I will talk about this more in the future, but yes, although you don't take dreams literal, you do take them seriously. Because although people may not float to the sky, if you're having a dream about people and things that are metal floating to the sky, then you may want to pay attention to that, because that may be something happening in the future. I'm actually going to talk about that in another video, actually behind the scenes, because that has a lot to do with what I'm seeing in the future. Stay tuned for that. If you want to listen to that and tune in, you can definitely do so by joining the Saiyonan circle, because I'm actually going to be uploading the video there the moment that I do finish recording that video. But anyway, yes, and this, on this channel, we do pay attention to our dreams, and we take them seriously to a point where we utilize them to better ourselves, to expand our consciousness, but to also help humanity. Okay. So if I were going to work my magic right now, if I were going to work with anything from the Ethereum, it would 100% be, first and foremost, there's something coming through strongly about a purge and banish. And I feel like that because there's energy that you want to banish away, that you want to keep away, that you want to protect yourself from, so that when you go into this next phase of your life, you are not only protected, but you are also clean and pure of the energy that was surrounding you, that keeps getting itself like plaguing into your workings and into your life and into your dealings. I see you definitely working with a purification candle and oil and doing a purification ritual. I also do see you working with a purge and banish oil. I do have one here available. This is definitely for you to purge and banish any energy that may be lingering, that may be holding you back, keeping you stuck and stagnant. And when I tell you that it works, you do not want to use this if you are not ready to get rid of these things, because if you are, it's going to work. Like I can't tell you how many times it's worked for me. It's worked for people around me. It's worked for the people who purchased it. Like, yeah, if you're not ready for things to leave your life, just don't use it. Like, I'm not even trying to use reverse psychology. Like, I'm being real. Please don't. Please don't. But also, I do have here, I would say work with the purge and banish candle. This is used to banish, cast out, exorcise, protect, purge, purify, release, and ward off. These are candles that I do not have to use frequently. I don't see you using this very frequently, right? I don't see you using this every single day. I don't see you using this just letting it burn out. I actually see you using this over a course of time. So every Saturday night at the very same time, you light this candle, you sit with it, you pray over it, you set your intentions with it, you speak to the flame, you meditate every single Saturday nonstop. That is what I see. And I see this happening for a consistent 7 weeks. There's something about you doing this for 7 weeks. And if you feel like the candle burns out before 7 weeks, then don't worry about it. Then that basically means that the working gets finished. Don't worry about it. And if you have any questions about the candles, or if you have any questions about the ritual, if you have any questions about rituals, shoot me an email. I'm here to help you, and I will respond at my earliest convenience. That is what I'm here for. Okay. So yes, I do see you doing that. But apart from that, I also see you working your magic around creativity, about communication, and spirit speaks. That is something that I feel like we all really need to be tuning into, is spirit speaking to us. And I feel like I'm going to do another video so where you can know how to tell when spirit is speaking to you. I feel like I want to do that next, and I may or may not do that tonight. We'll see how I feel. And if I don't do it tonight, I'll probably do it sometime tomorrow or next week. We'll see what happens. Okay. But either way it goes, yes, I feel like that's really all that I have for you. If there's anything else that you would need to work your magic, I will leave that down in the comment section. Also, I am open for readings. If you need to book a reading, I do have readings that are available at a discounted rate. If you do want a coupon code, make sure that you do go over to the SaiyonanPath.org, because if you join the newsletter, then you will receive your coupon code to shop in the Ethereum with 20% off. Okay. So yes, I do have coupon codes, and I also do have more coupon codes coming soon. So yes, I am so excited for you. I'm so excited for me. I'm excited for us. I'm excited for what we all have going on, and I cannot wait for you to stand in your power, for you to utilize the power of your gifts, as well as utilizing the power of your mind, your intellect, and your creativity. Yes, consider joining the Saiyonan Circle by clicking the link down below in my description box, as well as in the comment section. You can also join the Saiyonan Collective by subscribing to this YouTube channel. If you need anything else from me, you already know where to find me. If you don't, check the comments. Also, check the description box. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you. Take care, and I will catch you in my next video.